everyone. This is your AP Sensei, Ben Dunn, founder of Antarctic Press, a comic book publishing company founded in 1985, coming up to its 40th anniversary with a huge birthday bash coming March 15th, 2025. Hope to see you there in San Antonio, Texas. Sorry I haven't been posting a lot lately. I've been very busy with projects, dealing with family business, running things as they say. Sometimes you just don't have a lot of time, and sometimes there's nothing really to talk about that I feel needs to be talked about. But so here I am talking about stuff again. So last night I went to a Billy Joe Sting concert in the VIP suite. It was very nice. Had a lot of fun. Listened to a lot of great music, and it astounded me how big the crowd was for these old rockers from the 80s, who sang some of their best songs and stuff like that. So it got me to thinking about things that we create that somehow stand the test of time. How people seem to like what is being created, and I'm not sure whether or not things are being created that will stand the test of time. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's stuff being created now, but it seems like there's really nothing much that's creating a lot of buzz, creating a lot of excitement, which brings me up to this absolute Batman thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm happy that the comic book is making waves, so to speak. But here's why I think that I don't think it'll last. Now, I have not, full disclosure here, I've not read Absolute Batman, so I'm not judging it by its merits, by just what the story's about, what the art's all about. I'm judging it based on past experience. The thing about Batman is that it is so ingrained into the psyche of American pop culture that any deviation from the original formula is going to fail. This new version of Batman, from what I understand, is a totally different take on the character. Supposedly, he is was grown up in an urban environment. I'm not sure quite what his, but he's supposed to be a big hulking, monster of a guy who just all he does is beats down criminals, and that's not what Batman's about. Batman's a detective. He's a lean, mean detective. He only really, if you think about it, only had to confront. Yet only had to use violence when he needed to use violence, and for a long time, in the beginning, he did use guns, but that was quickly taken out of the equation. And then he had a code against killing, which for the long time seemed to work for Batman for a long time. Now, yes, the comics code probably did neutered Batman for a little while, but the thing about it was that it was a contractual obligation with, Bob Kane, who is the so-called original, the creator of Batman. We all know it was Bill Finger who did most of the heavy lifting. But anyway, my prediction is that this is what's going to happen, and I've seen this in the past. Every single attempt to reboot a classic, iconic superhero character has eventually fizzled out and fallen flat, and they had to return back to the same formula. I'm not sure how Absolute Batman will fit into the overall scheme of the Batman as a property, but I think this is just an experiment by Warner Brothers to maintain Batman into their realm of copyright and trademark. The thing about it is Batman is going to fall into the public domain, or Detective 27 is going to fall into the public domain, which includes Batman, in just less than a decade. And Warner Brothers is fearful that they're going to lose control of Batman, just like they're going to lose control of Superman. Because Action Comics will also fall into the public domain within 10 years. Now, they're trying to create new versions of Batman and see what sticks. They're going to try to see if they can keep Batman in the public perception and own it for eternity. Basically, that's what they're trying to do. There's no other reason really to do this kind of thing unless they know. Sorry, that had my computer quit on me, so I'm just attaching this. So anyway, the reason, the point I'm making is that somehow it seems like they're trying desperately to grasp onto things that they're going to lose control over. Instead of creating new characters that'll stand the test of time, maybe provide them with more opportunities 20, 10, 15, 30 years down the line. They've decided to go the way of just revamping or reimagining classic IP characters. Now, this has been done before in the past, and it's always failed. They always go back to the original incarnation of the character because that's what made them so iconic to begin with. When Spider-Man and Batman and Superman first came out, they had no idea how popular they were going to be. They were just new characters. The fact that they became so iconic and popular is because of what they stood for. Trying to reimagine these characters into something that they are not is ultimately going to be the recipe for failure. And this is why it's important that creators who are doing comics and creating new IPs, stay true to their vision, stay true to what they're trying to create, and that they own what they create. It's fun to play in someone else's sandbox, but eventually, sooner or later, you're going to have to get out, and maybe build your own sandbox to play in. So, as far as Absolute Batman is concerned, I give it a couple of years. It'll ride the wave of being new and different and shiny, and all that. But eventually what's going to happen, people are going to get tired of it. They're going to get bored with it. They're going to move on to something else. It's not Batman, the way they grew up reading Batman. Maybe they might find some new readers, but I doubt it because for the most part, the biggest exposure to the public for Batman is the movies. And that is what defines Batman. If Warner Brothers really wants to, or DC Comics really wants to define Batman, they need to make better Batman movies. So that is just basically what my thought is on this Absolute Batman thing and why in the long term it's going to ultimately fail. And they're going to try again. They're going to try to revamp Batman. This is what happens. They're going cycles. They know that they have to recreate, reimagine characters like Batman and Superman in order to maintain their control over the trademark and copyright, because eventually what's going to happen is that Batman will fall into the public domain as Superman, and they're afraid that there's going to be creators out there who's going to do a better job with Batman and Superman than they are, and they will make the money, exploiting those characters. So until next time, this has been done signing off.